12 o'clock on this Thursday, and right now at noon, you're looking at the damage from above. Major damage across parts of Indiana today after those strong storms came through overnight. We have crews today in some of the areas hardest hit. We're talking to neighbors who experienced the storms firsthand and the work ahead of them today. Sean?
And this is that swath of damage across parts of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio. Going to settle things down for a little bit, not done with rain completely. I'll have the forecast.
All righty, and a heads up, AES is going to hike your utility bill once again. We break down the latest rate increase and let you know how much the average homeowner could be paying more per year. Good afternoon, I'm Anne Marie Tiernan, and we're bringing you coverage today of the storm from overnight. Damage in central Indiana today, as you can see from Drone Cam 13 here, is dramatic. In fact, there are miles and miles of damage and debris throughout Monroe County, south of Indianapolis today after these severe storms came through last night. Today, neighbors are cleaning up after surviving what they say to us was a very scary storm. And crews now are out and about. They're surveying the damage. They're looking at damage to homes and to structures and also to the forest areas. And further north of there, flooding is a concern. What you're looking at here are images of high water in Franklin Township. That's right near the Monroe-Shelby County lines. You can see swampy water there, almost up to the front steps of this house. And we do want to say thanks to the viewer for sharing this image to help us enhance our coverage. But depending on where you are, the story could be very different. Multiple counties are getting a look at the damage that are caused by the storm, and some of the worst damage really is in the south central part of the state, just south of Indianapolis. So that's where we're going to kick off our coverage today at noon with Ella Rhodes. She's live near Gosport, that's near Monroe County and Owen County line. So Ella, thanks for joining us live. I know there's a lot going on right now. Kind of set the scene for us and let us know what kind of damage you're seeing and the impact of that storm.
Anne Marie, we're here on Buskirk Road, and it is completely decimated. We've seen trees down, power lines down. I mean, look above. A lot of these trees, they've had their branches just ripped right off. You can see just the wood from these trees. I mean, so many of them look like they've just been chopped down. You look a little farther ahead of us here, you could see this home, a tree, massive tree, landed right onto this home. You can see the insulation from the home as well. And then there's more fallen trees in front of the home. Everywhere you look, it is just something. And you have to remember, these are people's livelihoods. These are their homes. And now they have to start picking up the pieces. We actually spoke with a gentleman earlier, and he came to check on his neighbors immediately after the storm passed because he knew it would be bad. I mean, just take a look at this tree, completely uprooted here. We've seen a lot of that. Earlier, a state police officer was also helping the woman who lives in this home as she's kind of navigating and figuring out how she's going to put back together her life and her home. Belongings are in people's front yards as well. We even saw one home that was completely decimated, and people are trying to go through what they can still salvage. I want you to take a look at some of the video we also took earlier when we first arrived here, and you could just see the devastation. It's absolutely heartbreaking what people have to go through, and you have to be so careful. Like I said, there's power lines and wires, and I've seen people's gutters, I've seen trees falling on cars. It just is very heartbreaking, and you have to remember, again, this is where people live. And I want to show you over here, we have a home that was completely blown away from the storm. We've actually been talking to the friends who are picking up the pieces. They say the woman who actually lived here, she was injured during the storm, and she's currently being treated by medics. But this is where she lived, and now her friends are picking up her pieces. I just want to show you what's left. You can see the foundation of her home. There's a few items lined on the foundation of things they can salvage. But other than that, there's things everywhere. You can see a dresser, a wardrobe. You can see, you know, a mattress out farther a little bit. It is just absolutely heartbreaking. And this neighbor has some really good friends who are helping her go through the pieces while she's recovering from her injuries in the storm. We also spoke with some other people who live around 20 minutes away, and they're driving up, bringing people food who live in this area because they know what they're going through. And like you said, people are just figuring out now how to repair, how to move forward. And it's just a lot. It's a lot to look at. And you got to remember, these are real people and real things. And this storm really made a mark here. Anne-Marie?
Absolutely, Ella. When you show, a house inside out, when you see a dresser sitting out in the field, things like that, it just kind of gives you that idea how everything is just turned upside down for these people. Thanks so much for your coverage. We'll check back later. Again, she's near the Monroe County and Owen County line reporting for us live today. Ella, thank you. Also, injuries. We're learning that one woman is hurt with an injury after the strong storms in Monroe County. This is coming from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. They say the woman they believe has a broken ankle, a broken and/or dislocated hip as well. And these are injuries that she got after she was in her mobile home and it was hit in the storm. The Sheriff's Office said they received lots of calls about damaged homes and properties, really coming in heavy around 10 o'clock last night. So since then, now we've got daylight. Deputies are out and about. They're doing welfare checks this morning and today to make sure that residents in their community are okay. And as Ella talked about, power lines, that leads to power outages when they're down and impacted by heavy winds and storms like this. So here's a look at the AES Indiana outage map. Right now, pretty good right now for AES, just 37 customers without power right now. A different story for Duke Energy. Right now, there's about 188 active outages across Indiana with 11,599 customers without power. So 12,000 customers without power today, and it does take some time to get all those crews out when we have damage that is so widespread like this. So we do have an update also that's just coming into the newsroom, and this is from the Morgan Monroe State Forest. This is one of the areas where our crews have been reporting a lot of damage, and you and Angela and Rob last night tracking this right now. We're now learning that that forest is temporarily closed to the public due to storm damage there. We've had reports of big trees being across the roadway there and limiting the access. And this is a big story today. It's one that you and the team really started following yesterday, talking about the severity of it. And now today, we're wondering, we saw about the risk of rotation and tornadoes. Yep. Any official word
Well,
today?
there's definitely two. We know there's definitely two tornadoes because the radar confirmed that, unfortunately, for us last night here. Let me show you, and the National Weather Service survey crews are going to be out investigating these areas. So we know there's two confirmations. It's just a matter of the rating that they will get. And Rob will likely have some information on that later this evening. So we had northern Jackson County. This will be a long track tornado where Ella is right now. And, a large part of that 25-plus mile path is going to be over the forest that you talked about. And another area they're going to investigate is Clay and Owen County. I do want to take you back and show you because when we were on the air, we started to see what we call a debris ball. Ella was showing you a lot of those trees that had been snapped. That's what the radar was seeing, in addition to some other possibly some of the homes that were hit. Radar confirmed tornado Owen, Monroe, Brown counties, northern Jackson counties, and we had some other damage as well. There's the debris ball then as it's approaching I-69, and there it is once again. And then while we were on the air, we saw something that we don't see very often, but it is with a strong tornado, and it's something that's called debris fallout. The tornadoes here, the upper level wind, pushed that debris into Morgan and Johnson County. That's indicative of a strong tornado. And this is the other one that we were following as well in that northern Jackson County. So we'll see what rating they get. For today, in terms of cleanup, we do have some clouds, possibly a few showers. I'll have the rest of the 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
Okay, we're going to let you know, new this afternoon, authorities in Paragon, Indiana are investigating what they call an apparent murder-suicide. This after a man and a woman found shot, their bodies found in a home. The discovery around 11:15 last night along South Denny Hill Road, right near State Road 67. This is right as those storms were coming through. A 54-year-old man and a 48-year-old woman pronounced dead at the scene. For perspective, Paragon is about 40 miles southwest of Indianapolis. It is in Morgan County. Jury selection now is underway today. In fact, just getting underway for the case surrounding a woman who is charged with murder and the death of her 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Toni McClure, and she's charged with the murder, criminal confinement, and battery in the death of this little girl. This is Kinsley Welty, her daughter. Officers say when they responded to the home that was near State Road 67 and South High School Road 2 years ago, they found Kinsley there severely malnourished. They took her to the hospital, and that's where she later died at Riley. Prosecutors now are seeking life without parole for the mother in the case. The trial is expected to begin on Monday. Also, listen up, the cost of your electric bill is going to be going up yet another notch. State regulators now approving a rate increase request, and it's coming from AES Indiana. It is less than the company's initial request from last June. That was a petition for an additional $192 million. Instead, the state signing off on $71 million over 2 phases. AES says for a typical customer using 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, rates will amount to less than $5 a month per phase. The first rate increase starts in July. The second will come in at the start of next year. The governor, however, still not happy with this decision. And he issued this statement saying, quote, "My top priority is affordability, which is why I'm deeply disappointed by the IURC's approval of another AES rate increase. Hoosiers have spent years tightening their belts, making tough financial decisions. It's time for utility companies to do the same." Coming up in national news, dramatic images here. One man is dead after this fiery crash. This occurred in Texas. We take you to the scene where first responders and bystanders were heroes jumping into action to save those on board.